lineal champion, Tyson. You were on a segment earlier this week on Inside PBC where you referenced Deontay in kind of a derogatory way. You kind of questioned his masculinity. Do you stand by that? Now, he wasn't there for that. Do you stand by that statement?
What
here,
statement was it? I'm not familiar with it.
You referred to him as a P word, a female anatomy, a slang piece of female anatomy, I guess is a better way to put it. I can't say that on here. You can say it.
Talking about a piece of the pie?
The piece of the pie. That's the one. Yeah, I guess. Do you stand by that statement? Why would you say something like that about him coming into this? Do you question his masculinity?
I'm not sure. I've never seen it, but I'm all ears and all eyes. So if you're willing, I'm willing. Let's have a look.
In terms of this fight, let's get to it. You've said that you've sent him some text messages, some calls. How ready are you for this one?
I'm born ready, you know. Feeling good in training camp, and everything's been going really well. No injuries, no excuses, nothing to talk home about. Dedication, sacrifice, one day after another. You know, training camp's a pretty boring place. Eat, train, you want to admit it or not, it's really unimportant to me because your belt's going to be on the line, so that's up for grabs. And if you don't want to win mine, then I'll just win yours. Fantastic.
The good thing about it, you can keep it. You know, when I knock you out, you can take it back with you. You know, like I said,
that's not me muting. They're anticipating his curse words.
The lineal doesn't have a.
Besides the belt that's holding up your pants, what a belt?
No, the belt I've got on is actually a Gucci, not a lineal.
So what a lineal?
The lineal, I carry it around in my presence.
Oh, you know? Okay.
When you look at me, you're looking at a lineal.
Visible,
champion.
and I have a 12-round championship fight for nothing we can't see.
100%.
Nothing we can't feel.
That's why it's on the line.
You can't even get emotional attached to it. We don't even know. She ain't even pretty.
Well, the thing is, you don't need to see something to believe it's real.
No,
we both know that, don't we?
That's true.
So,
that's why we believe in faith, right?
Good man. So the lineal championship is sort of like faith to boxers. Can't really see it, but we know it's there. And if you believe it enough, good things will happen.
I heard that.
And, you know, we're both on agreement on this thing.
Yes, you agree on something. I know one thing that you probably won't agree on is who has a better resume. Do you believe you have a better resume than Deontay Wilder?
Come on, Tyson, be for real now. Be real.
I'm always real. I'm always real.
All right.
Always. Now, that's a fantastic question, and it depends on which angle you're coming from. You're looking at a man here who's knocked out 43 opponents in a row. Now, even if I hate this guy, I've got to respect that. That is awesome. You know, I never met anybody before who knocked out everybody they ever fought. That's absolutely...
Including you?
I'm going to put it all on the line yet again for the fans. The fans are the only real winners here.
In the last press conference, and I agree with you on that statement, the fans are an incredible winner in this one. You want to purchase this pay-per-view, it's going to be incredible. In the last press conference, you said that you will knock him out in 2 rounds. Do you stand by that statement?
I stand by that statement wholeheartedly. The first fight, I wanted to go in there and use my boxing skills and outbox him. It didn't work.
Yeah.
No matter what people want to say, people say to me, oh, you boxed him well last time. Why don't you do that again? But he didn't win. And I'm about winning. So I class a draw as a loss. And he should too.
Does he have the power to knock you out?
I don't think so. You know, within these several years of us being in the division, you know, we haven't really seen that display. We've seen a couple of knockouts, but we haven't seen it like a continuance of occurrence, you know, like mine.
Did you feel it in the last fight?
I didn't. I mean, I still think Tyson had pillow as fists, but he's a skillful fighter, though. You know, you can't have it all. People say I don't have skills, but I have the punch.
Does he have pillow hands, like you really said?
That's what I felt at the time. You know what I mean? It's adrenaline rush. All jokes aside, it's adrenaline rush in the rings. You know, so, you know, we're all brave warriors. You know, we're all gladiators, and that's what we come the night of the fight to give you guys the best show of your lives. And here you are, you have one of the 2 best heavyweights in the world. We're putting it all on the line, you know what I mean? And I'm excited to be here at this point in time. And, you know, with the strategies that they got coming up with, I just don't know how to take it. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're trying to throw people off the game or you know, come in and try to throw me off. But it's exciting to hear, and I'm looking forward to February 22nd.
We most definitely are looking forward to it, that's for sure. In terms of training, you have, and we're talking about power, so I want to go there. You've changed up your training staff, reunited with Sugar Hill, brought in Stitch Duran now as your cut man. Why all of those changes? And I did hear Sugar Hill say something about working on power with you. So why did you decide to make that move before this fight? And how does one focus on power?
Well, the thing is we're giant heavyweights. I'm 6'9" and I weigh 269 pounds this morning. So
just a little guy.
And I've had 20 knockouts out of 29 victories. So, you know, I'm very capable of knocking people out. And from what my experience as an experienced campaigner in boxing is, when I fought somebody who had like 4 or 5 knockouts on the record, I thought, oh, this guy can't punch. Walked right through him. I ended up getting dropped by the guy. Yeah, and then I fought old Dr.
Did he say 269?
60-odd knockouts, and he couldn't knock me out. And I fought him with all these knockouts, and he couldn't knock me out. You know, so when you underestimate another one's power, you usually come unstuck. But I'm happy he thinks I'm a non-puncher, and it's fantastic, you know. But whether I am or I ain't a great puncher, the statistics don't lie. He's a much bigger puncher than me. One-punch knockout artist, that's what he does. But the thing is I don't believe anybody can match me with heart and determination. I will put my iron will on Deontay Wilder, and we'll see. Listen, it can only go 2 ways. Unless we get a draw again, which I don't want and he don't want. It can only he win or I win. So I'm not afraid to go el mono with the biggest puncher on the planet, biggest puncher of heavyweight boxing. When I knock him out, it's going to look excellent for me, isn't it? Bigger props.
You mentioned the eye. You didn't answer my question.
Oh, sorry, what was the question?
The question was, why did you make the change?
Why did I make the change? I felt that I needed to change, and I felt that I needed to get an edge. You know, if anything's going to help me win this fight, then I'm willing. This is not personal between me and these boxing trainers, sure, me and the cut man, me and the nutritionist. It's business, you know, and if I think someone else is going to improve my business, then I'm going to bring them in. Well, I have. I brought in George Lockhart, the nutritionist, and I feel like he's doing something. Well, we'll find out on February 22nd.
We will.
And I brought Sugar Hill in. We're working on some stuff in the gym. What else have I done? I brought in Stitch Duran. Obviously, I got a massive cut in my last fight, so yes, I need someone who's very experienced with the cut game. So, yeah, I've made a few changes, but I'm still the same OG. Everybody knows me. They know what I'm going to do. They know how I'm going to fight, and they know I wear my heart on my sleeve. So, yeah, there's not much that I can hide. It's not smoke and mirrors. I ain't just going to come in there and be boxing like a light welterweight or all of a sudden come in there like Deontay Wilder. It doesn't happen.
Deontay, is that eye a target for you immediately when that bell rings?
Everything on his body is a target for me, you know. You know, everything that can be hit.
It's not over till 5. Look at the top of the screen. We got a long way to go.
I'm going to hit, you know.
Do you think it's a mistake making so many changes in training?
For me, you know, when you find a fighter like me, I think so. You know, I'm already unpredictable. You can't train for me anyway, and to bring in so many opinions, you know, everybody wants to be the head man when you have so many guys and so many trainers, and everybody got the remedy, everybody got the right set of ideas of how to do this and how to do that, and you know, with that, and then I can only imagine how the camp is. You know, there's so many different chiefs, you know, and but you know, on the other hand, it's never a bad idea to have so many brains in as well, you know. So I look at it, when I look at things and I see my opponents and how they try to prepare for me, you know, I look at it in 2 ways. I mean, I'm always optimistic. I'm an optimistic person anyway. You know, I don't look and say, well, I'm untouchable, and you know, I'll never be able to do this or do that, or they're gonna do this to me. You know, I look on both sides of the field, but you know, that warrior in me, that mentality that I have, that king spirit. You know, I fight with the ancestors, and you know, with that being said,
we're going to talk about it all the next commercial break.
More than just men to be able to come in and be what God got for me.
How would it feel to deliver Deontay Wilder's first loss?
You know, I've beat quite a few undefeated fighters in my time.
Does this one have a little more weight on it?
To be fair, whether they're undefeated or they're not, whoever is considered a good man at that time, whether he's got losses on his record or he hasn't, the victory is the victory. I'd take it anyway.
I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm sure every professional athlete feels the same way for sure.
Well, for me, you know, I think with him, it's going to be. I mean, every fight, every victory, I've knocking off a few undefeated fighters myself, but I think this one's going to be a little bit more special for me. You know,
why?
It's just because of the history that we have, the controversial draw, and you know, for me, I consider Tyson like a breath of fresh air. For me, especially in the heavyweight division, you know, because a lot of the other guys are just stiff. They don't want to open their mouth. They don't want to really just let themselves loose and have fun. And already it's such a dangerous sport. This sport is so dangerous. You know, this is the only sport where you've seen so many people lose their lives in, and you got to enjoy it while we're in it. And you know, I just try to find the humor out of this such dangerous sport and try to find the same people that have the same, you know, some type of sense of humor and be able to enjoy what we do. Because when it's the night of the fight, when that bell say ding, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. You both seem to really enjoy your jobs. I'm curious if you enjoyed Deontay Wilder's performance against Luis Ortiz.
Great performance. He did everything he was supposed to do. He knocks guys out and he knocked him out. Fair play. You know, he took his time. I liked the way he was relaxing and not letting the rounds get under his belt like the rounds passing. He was so relaxed and calm under the pressure, and I was impressed. Not by the knockout, because I've seen him knock plenty of guys out before, but the way he was conducting himself under pressure, like going back to the rounds, no frustration in the corner, like, I got it, don't worry. Respect for that. Because if I go a few rounds down, I'm like,
I was gonna...
I gotta get it back. Well, he was like stone cold.
Do you think that he can, you know, stand to lose a couple of rounds early against you?
For sure, he has the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't matter if you win 11 and a half rounds against Deontay Wilder with 30 seconds left.
Do you think
he can KO anybody?
Do you think that you have to get things done a little sooner, or that you have to do more against a guy like Tyson Fury in those early rounds?
I mean, finding a fighter like Fury, you definitely have to be careful. You know what I mean? Time go by so fast in there. You're having so much fun. You're trying to do everything that you prepared and trained for the fight. And before you know it, you look up, it's the 6th round. Oh, my God, it's the 7th round, 8th. You know what I'm saying? So with a fighter like him and what he brings to the table, you definitely have to have awareness, you know. But still, on the other hand, with me just being blessed with power, you know, for me, it would be his job to try to stay away from it. And, you know, it's 36 minutes up in there that he'll have to avoid. And I always say, you know, fighters have to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only have to be perfect for 2 seconds. And I'm just grateful to have that blessing of power, you know, because I started late. You know, I only started at 21 to gain skills and different things. I was always, you know, playing catch up with all my other Olympic teammates and all that. So, you know, with that being said, having power, yeah, it don't hurt at all, especially when you want to go home and have a good night and end it quickly, you know. Power never hurts.
Just like the staring contest, as you've said before, don't blink, right? In terms of the press, we've invited you here for a reason. We will now invite you to join us for some questions.
Hi, Kevin Ioli from Yahoo Sports. My question is for Tyson. Your former trainer, Ben Davison, said after he knocked out Luis Ortiz that he felt he was the biggest puncher in heavyweight history. You said you're a boxing historian. Do you agree with that, and do you say he's a bigger puncher than a Mike Tyson, a Rocky Marciano, somebody like that?
You know, great question. The answer to that question would be numbers don't tell lies. And this man's knockout ratio alone says he's the greatest puncher in boxing history. In the heavyweight division.
Mike Coppinger.
Mike Coppinger from The Athletic. Question for you, Deontay. The first fight was one of the greatest heavyweight title fights in recent memory. What do you guys have to do to replicate that
This
and
is
make it an
live.
even better one?
I mean, that's easy. Come in like we did the first time with our hearts, you know, hearts on our sleeves and have a warrior mentality like we already do. This, when you get 2 fighters like this that's sitting before you, the scenery already makes for a great fight itself. Our demeanor, the way we approach certain things, the way we talk about, you know. And we all know when I come into fights, I don't play around. It can be fun in games here, But we know when the bell rings, we're both going to be in that killer mentality, that killer mode. So it ain't no thing that we have to, something that we have to work so hard on to make great fights. It's something that's already, with our energy combining together in that ring that night, and when it release, it automatically make a great fight.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Hi, Michael Rosenthal with BoxingJunkie.USA today for Deontay. Do you believe he's really going to do what it takes to knock you out? And if so, doesn't that play right into your hands?
You know, to be honest, I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, Fury crazy, man. You know, he one way 1 minute and another way the next. You know, but if he believe in that, what he say he's gonna do, then I only can take his word for what it is now, and wait till that moment and we step in the ring. We know that it's different when you step in the ring. It's different when you're in a situation, you know what I'm saying, that you put yourself in, and it's hard to get out. You know, I'm the biggest puncher in probably boxing history, period. We've said that many a times. And, of course, that would play into my game plan coming forward to me because, you know, I have the power to knock him out. And when you coming forward, you giving me all the momentum that I need coming forward for me to land a shot. But, you know, I always say, speak it, believe it, receive it, baby, and it's yours. So we'll see what happens February 22nd.
Actually working on power in camp, and if so, what are you doing to sort of get more power behind your punches?
To answer your question, would it be walking into his hands? Well, it would be if I was to go put my chin right in front of him and say, go on, Deontay, knock me out, please. But I'm hardly going to do that. You know, the thing is how do you beat a massive puncher? You got to back him up. You have to back him up because he gets massive leverage in those long arms coming forward.
Got to do it quickly.
Yeah, Tyson, what makes you the different heavyweight in the world? What makes you different to all these other guys?
Because I'm the Gypsy King. You know, there's only been one Gypsy King, and there's only likely to be one Gypsy King going forward. And that's one belt that Deontay can't win. Because for one, he's not a gypsy, and he definitely can't take that title. So, yeah, that's what makes me unique. But thanks for noticing.
Well, we wish we could talk to you guys for longer, but we only have a limited amount of time here on this show. No question that this is going to be an incredible night of boxing. You can get it on pay-per-view. Now I'd like to welcome back to the stage our very own Kurt Menefee.
All right. I think no matter what sporting event goes on, there's nothing that excites people as much as just the term heavyweight championship fight. I mean, it really does. And I think it still resonates to this day. And you see it with both these guys. These are the 2 best heavyweights going. You saw their first fight. You know what they can deliver once they get in the ring. And I'm glad that it got a chance for people at home. I know all the boxing media in here knows. But for people at home to get a chance to see you can still be a nice guy. You can still be respectful about your opponent. Yet when it's time to get it on, they get it on. And that will happen February 22nd.
Yes, please like the video. We will be here streaming all of the Wilder Fury II events.
So you can stand up.
So like the video. Thank you.
And we tell you at home to mark your calendars. The historic heavyweight rematch goes down, as we said, February 22nd, Saturday Night Live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. A lot of boxing media in this room call it the biggest heavyweight fight since Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis, and the biggest heavyweight rematch since the ear bite Tyson Holyfield 2. Undefeated WBC champ Deontay Wilder. Undefeated lineal champ Tyson Fury. Decades from now, when we're still reminiscing about how great this fight was, you can tell your grandkids you saw it live on your TV when you buy the pay-per-view, or on your computer or mobile device when you purchase it on the Fox Sports app and the ESPN Plus app. You do not want to miss this monumental, soon-to-be historic event, February 22nd.
They still have 12 minutes left. Look at the top.
Thank you very much, Kurt, as the trash talking continues. All in all, though, it felt weirdly nice, didn't it?
Curiously subdued, and what it camouflages is how much they need each other. It's a contradiction unique to a sport like this. You know, what you want to destroy is the guy that you need.
Right.
I think one thing that's changing is in boxing, I think a lot of people expect a lot of animosity. But I think we're coming into an age now where everyone's respecting what we can do in the ring. And I think that's what we saw up there. Both guys respect one another for what they bring to the ring.
They can't get to the place they want to go without each other.
Yeah.
And they respect each other.
Yeah. Well, one thing it felt like we learned a little bit about...
There it is.
There you go.
There it is.
It did feel like we learned a little bit about the approach, certainly of Tyson Fury, who I think we had thought maybe would, just stand and trade. And he said, you have to back Deontay Wilder up. How do you like that approach?
Fury was never going to stand and trade. He's
to this day.
Strategic. He did reveal something. I have to back him up. I have to put him on his back foot. He means that. One thing that no one ever says about Wilder is his timing. He has a gift, not just of the right hand, but timing. We talk about punching between punches. He has that gift naturally.
Yeah, and the thing I ask, and I'm going to ask you, do you bet on the 12 rounds or do you bet on the guy who can end it in 2 seconds? Which do you prefer? When you got a guy in the ring, you're training a guy. Do you want that guy who has that 2-second knockout, or the guy who you know is going to
hold on. We're going to talk. We're going to talk.
And ultimately win the fight.
It depends how the first half of the fight. Depends who imposes his will. I think the Fury understands he's going to have to hurt Wilder. He's going to have to discourage him to go those 12 rounds, whether it lasts that long or not.
We've never seen anyone back up Deontay Wilder. Do you think that can happen?
Yes, I do. I mean, look, the safest place for Fury to be, as you well know, is close.
Yeah, I agree with that, but you got 6'7" against 6'9". I don't see the 6'9" guy getting low and getting in there and putting himself basically right there in harm's way. Again, Tyson Fury can move his head. He can move his head. He can do all this, but you're still going to be right there in the line.
Impeccable technique. This is a guy who never thought of himself as anything but a boxer.
All right, we've got plenty more coming up on this historic pay-per-view event. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a very short break.